Una's skirt just keeps getting shorter and shorter every time I draw it. Hi, I'm Mark, and this is Subliteral Network. I'm in art and comics, and thanks for watching. Remember to hit like and subscribe and to leave your feedback in the comments. I post art daily, 5 days a week, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and this is a roundup of some of that work in case you missed it, with a little more detailed description added. You can read my Una the CaveBunny comics free at radiocomics.com, and my one-shot comic called Searchers is now available at burningstarcomics.net. Visit my Patreon page if you'd like to support my work. There's a growing gallery of art and comics to see and enjoy. All these links are in my description and bio, so please watch till the end so you don't miss anything. So what you're looking at is something called kind of a dead line weight. It doesn't get thicker and it doesn't get thinner. But almost always what the cartoonist is employing is a line that gets thicker and thinner and maybe thinner and thick again as it moves along the contour of the object that you're drawing. Now, eventually the idea is to make a piece of work look like it has solidity and weight and kind of a liveliness to it, which is what the thin and thick line can do. Now, one of my pet peeves that I see artists do is they're not really conscious of that. They're just drawing a line and they're kind of goofing around with it, or they're just trying to outline their pencils, and they're not 100% conscious of the effect that varying types of lines can have on your piece of art. Now, this is Sharpies on paper, but one thing that happens when people are drawing on tablets is because of that glassy surface, their line work is, kind of crude and sloppy looking. The best people drawing on tablets, and I'm not one of them, I just paint on using the software mostly, but the best artists who draw on tablets, they tune up their pens and stuff so that it's like they're drawing on paper. They're not just using it right out of the box. They're tuning their brushes and their pens, and they're just getting these lines that are indistinguishable from ink on paper. And apparently it takes a long time to get there, because it's taken me a long time to get there, or you got to start out really early on it. Well, for the life of me, I cannot draw convincingly on a tablet, at least not yet. And it's just sort of for me, it's a very long learning curve, and it's, I don't know, it's kind of tiring. If I can get good results that I want on paper, to jump to using a tablet for that doesn't seem like something I really want to spend time doing. But to those who can, really, God bless them. Sketch card size drawing of Namorita, Prince Namor's cousin from Marvel Comics. Prince Namor and all his relatives get my vote as the most nude superheroes in comics. I mean, to start with, they never really had costumes from the beginning. Back in World War II, the World War II comics, Namor was just wearing swim trunks all the time, and that's probably because they made him wear swim trunks. He really didn't want to wear anything at all. When Namorita first appeared in the 1960s Submariner comics drawn by Bill Everett, she had on like this tiny, looked like a freaking homemade bikini that she just tied on. And it was really, if you look back at those old comics, she was pretty much wearing almost nothing. Then later on in the 70s, I think the comic, I'm going to have to look this up, I think it was either Marvel 2-in-1 or Marvel Team Up. Namorita showed up again, drawn by the great Gil Kane, and she was wearing one of those metal bikini things. It was like gold colored, and it just composed of a bunch of small metal trinkets and bra cups. There's no way I'd really call that a legitimate costume. And I don't think she ever wore that before Gil Kane drew it, or after, really. Before and after Gil Kane drew her, I think she had started wearing this sort of a green scaly one piece, apparently made out of the same material as Namor's green scaly trunks. I never cared much for the way they drew her in the New Warriors, because she kind of just had a version of the kind of one piece suit, but I never liked the art that much in there, and I never liked the way they drew Namorita and she never really seemed to have a character. She was just kind of a skinny collection of bones that was super strong. But I love what Gil Kane did. It's just something that, like, why should she wear a costume at all? She's like an Atlantean citizen in the royal family. She'd be wearing stuff like, ceremonial clothing and or stuff like that. She wouldn't have a superhero costume, at least not in my opinion. And I love that Gil Kane metal bikini thing. I started this drawing of Una the Cave Bunny on a piece of paper that the paper was fine. I drew her head too close to the top and didn't have any room for her ears. So I taped a piece of paper behind the drawing, and it made enough room for the ears. I inked the thing up and kind of fixed it up in Photoshop, got rid of any kind of seams or things that looked like another piece of paper had been taped to the top. One other thing about whenever I draw Una is that the holes in her costume appear and disappear at will. See how there's only one on the bottom part of her tunic there? Usually I have a whole bunch up around her neckline and stuff. And I have no explanation for that. Sometimes there's holes, sometimes there's not. And I guess that means she changes her clothes once in a while. Over the years, Una's skirt or tunic has been getting a lot shorter, and I don't think I can get it any shorter than this. But anyway, I like the drawing a lot, and I painted it up in Procreate, and I did something that they kind of taught us in art school, but I've never really used. I decided to first put in this like a neutral gray background, and then to paint on top of it. I was going to get rid of the gray later on and put something else back there, but as I was working, I found out that what I was told was true. It's just easier to judge how your colors are balancing out when they're up against a neutral gray like this. I mean, to my eyes, everything just looks better. The warms look warmer, the cool colors look cooler, and it's just sort of I don't know, it's a very comforting kind of picture to look at. So I also did a version of it without the gray background because I want to composite it together with some kind of dinosaur-y jungle background as a promotional picture. I'd like to thank you, my subscribers, and especially my new subscribers. I'm very happy you enjoy hearing something more about the work that I'm doing, and I hope the videos are entertaining, and I really hope you can come back for more.